And I'm pleased that the Offender Learning Journey, which is like a Bible in England, which spells out the curriculum for offenders through their journey, recognises the power of the arts as a medium for including all aspects of the curriculum. And Ofsted, which is our inspection body that inspects all areas of education within prisons, secure training centres, the community, colleges, they have actually recently, their banner is that they raise standards and they improve lives. And they've recently done a lot of work in prisons looking at the creative arts. And what they have said that in the prisons in England today, there is excellence in arts, and that we have gone beyond the comfort zone. And again, I think that's something that you as artists have realised, it is going beyond the comfort zone. It's much easier to teach fractions with a board and chalk and a paper and pencil. But if you want to start cutting up cakes and doing it in a creative way, it does go beyond the comfort zone and sometimes the security aspects. One last quote on the thing is, creativity is inventing, experimenting, growing, taking risks, breaking rules, making mistakes, and having fun. And try and do that in a prison context. Now, prisons vary, but do that in a prison context, and most of you do, and most of us succeed, and that's where it works. So, I need to go on now to what is really my remit, was to mention the qualifications. And again, I deliberated long and hard, and I did get as much information as I could from my colleagues around the country. And we have such a plethora of qualifications in England, and we're currently going through a major change in having a new qualifications framework developed that's going to take the number of qualifications down from the 700s down to 200 and some, to try and simplify and rationalise our qualification system. Because sadly, employers aren't always sure what they're doing. Teachers aren't always sure which is the best accreditation route to take their students down. And I'm positive that the poor student has no idea which is the best route for him, but is just imposed on their route. They're either doing a GCSE or a diploma, and it's up to us as specialists to get this right. And we're just on the cusp in England of getting it right. We currently do, and I'll mention a few that I've been given, we currently do ABC Art Awards. We do all the key skills through City and Guilds, OCR, EdExcel, for numeracy, literacy, art qualifications, ICT. And again, I stress that art is often the medium for delivering numeracy, literacy, and so on. We use the National Diploma in Dance, Theatre Studies, Musical Theatre, and TV and Film within our college. We've got quite a high profile in the performing arts, the music and dance, the creative arts, and the National Diploma is one that will go through onto the new qualification framework and is one that we use. But all Ofsted and all the awarding bodies have said that it is important that within the qualifications that we offer, whether they're for art or any other subject, that we integrate practical, theoretical and creative skills into structured tasks. I think the days of rote learning, classroom learning, academic learning are fading into the vocational element. And I know that in most of our prisons now, the whole focus is on employability and vocational skills. And within that, we deliver the basic core curriculum of numeracy, literacy, and ICT. And then perhaps one nice example, just on Monday this week, I was at Risley Prison, which some of you visited when you came over to England, and they were opening their construction carousel. And within their construction carousel, they have got on this painting and decorating, bricklaying, plastering, fitted kitchens, industrial cleaning, cookery, but that was on a separate bit, not in the woodroom, a business workshop, they had a whole plethora of activities going on in 3 huge workshops. But underpin that, in every workshop, was a learning pod or a skills unit. Used to be called a classroom, but they're now called learning pods. And the learners there can learn all the kitchen fittings. If you have B&Q across, I'm sure it's international B&Q. B&Q ring us up and say, have you anybody who's finished their sentence and finished their kitchen fitting course, because we need them to send them out on kitchen fittings. It's our biggest business at the moment. But we do that through the use of numeracy, literacy and the creative arts. Because if you walk through the construction workshop, it is full of design, technology, artwork that the men produce. In fact, the booklet itself was produced in the desktop publishing, and like your report for Denmark, every single page has got an art focus on it, the art one itself. This is a booklet for all the offenders going to Risley, and it's written in such a style that it is visual as well as in the written form, so they can understand what they're doing and what they have to have and what they will need before they go on to that course. So I thought that was quite a nice example of the use of art and the creative arts in an administrative task of producing a leaflet for the prison. So the next one on that. I think I wanted to think, you can give people qualifications, and what are you giving them for? Well, the whole core curriculum in England now is on employability and employment. Employability being the skills you need, and employment being the job. And again, it's Fats Domino who said, many people have a BSc, Bachelor of Science degree, or an MA, or a PhD. But what they need is a J, it should have a dot after it, a J-O-B, a job. And that really is what we're about, because I wonder, and you must wonder, what opportunities for employment do people who come through the creative arts route have? And I thought quite hard about this. I have no problem that they have all the employability skills, because those skills are transferable. They have learned self-esteem, self-confidence. We saw this morning all the areas that you work with. All the workshops that we do, I am sure, will raise the employability level of all our students. But what about actual employment? Well, some statistics were that there are 1 million people in England today who work in the creative industries. So the industry itself, the creative industry, is a big employer. 800,000 of them are actually qualified in some form of creative occupation. And for those of you who are specialists in art, there was a little fact that I rather like, that it takes 10,000 hours of personal study and experience in the creative skills to become professional at any level. So I look to Alan and know that you've had at least 10,000 hours on your professional skill to become a creative artist. And I asked at college, when we in the mainstream college send out people from our creative art department, what sort of jobs or employability do you expect them to work in? And this was the list that I was given. They either have the direct route into direct employment, the indirect route, or the voluntary sector. And nobody expanded what they did in the voluntary sector, but on the plane coming over, I was reading a magazine and I tore a little bit out. It was my magazine that I tore out. And I have to put my glasses on for this little bit. And I just thought, you don't need qualifications to be involved in this form of art, because if you want to, next week, you can go to Anthony Gormley's latest work, and I think he is, what is it? A sculptor, thank you. Anthony Gormley's latest work will see 2,400 volunteers stand